Hey there guys, Jordan in the know here, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. This is Samsung's first mainstream phone that just happens to be curved. Unlike the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge, the Samsung Galaxy Round, the LG G Flex, this phone doesn't quite have as much functionality, but it is the prettiest curved phone out there, and it is the most powerful curved phone out there at this moment. So if you want to pick up a curved phone, if you need a curved phone in specific, and you really just like the unique look of the S6 Edge, I feel like you'll be pleased. Now, when I say the prettiest, I really do mean it. Compared to the Galaxy S5, it's about the same size, and it's just a little more mature and crisp looking in almost every way. Samsung really did a lot to tighten up the sloppiness from its predecessor with improved build materials and a really fresh new look and feel from the Samsung of the past. And to be honest, I really like it. Despite its lack of microSD and water resistance, this phone is really beautiful through and through. Especially the Edge variant. To me, it looks more like the S4 with the curved corners, and I really like that look better. What you're getting from the S6 that you won't get from the S5 is just a better composition and feel in the hand. The buttons are the most tactile I've ever felt and really responsive, and when holding it, you really get this small piece of metal to hold onto that makes the phone feel so thin that it's almost unreal. But it's so thin that I feel like if you were to hold this phone either with wet hands, let's say, or just not a firm grip at all, it is very easy to drop this. So I highly suggest that you either get a case or get a deeper end skin to cover up that AT&T Death Star logo. But something that I did notice from all the drop tests that I saw was how durable this phone is. Statistically speaking, Gorilla Glass 4 is twice as impact resistant and shatter resistant as Gorilla Glass 3, and if you don't believe me, I'll give you some of the links to some of the drop tests that I personally trust, but to be honest here, Gorilla Glass 4 is very durable, and I say that if you want to spend a few days without having a case, I feel like you'll be alright, but just know that Gorilla Glass 4 does have its limits and it will definitely shatter. Now, with the Galaxy S6, Samsung has finally delivered a flagship whose custom skin doesn't look absolutely atrocious. A lot of the apps have been cleaned up to take on a more material design type of look, and I really like it. I'd still prefer to use third-party apps or AOSP lookalike apps instead of their stock Touchwiz counterparts, just because of the personal preference, but after using the stock interface for a few weeks, I have to say that it's not really that bad. The only thing I didn't really like was how long it took for the Touchwiz launcher to refresh after accessing My Magazine, and the bloatware. When Samsung said that they were going to deliver a more stock experience, they sort of kept their promises. They give us the lollipop design carousel and the material designed applications, as well as some performance upgrades, but carriers hit a record high when it comes to things like bloatware. Apps like AT&T Family, Live, Locker, Mobile, Navigator, and more just hog up RAM and precious resources, and it's really annoying. But luckily Samsung makes it easy to disable them, so that's a good thing. And other than that, performance on this phone has been really fast. Starting in lag has some rare occurrences, even when multitasking, very rare presence of lag. I really had no issues with this phone at all until it came to battery life. And I have to say, the most disappointing part of this phone, which really sucks because it's an awesome phone, is the battery life. It's just straight up horrible. I see people on Google Plus forums getting 5-6 hours of on-screen times. I say it's impossible and that it can't be done. In my opinion, the battery life is just really bad. I take it off the charger at around 7 o'clock in the morning, and by 3 o'clock that same day, I'm looking for a charger, and that's not good. I need my phone to last at least an entire day, even with medium usage, let's say. So that's probably one of the biggest turnoffs about this phone. Something that I found really useful on the S6 that wasn't as useful for me on the S5 was ultra power saving mode. On the S5 I didn't really need it that much. On the S6 you are definitely going to need it if you expect this to get through at least a full 24 hours. You're definitely going to need ultra power save mode. If you're going on an all-day trip, I recommend ultra power save mode. It will give you about 24 hours of battery from 100%, and it essentially grayscales the entire operating system, throttles the processor, throttles the graphics, and basically only allows you to have access to a few individual apps like the calling, text messaging, and for some reason Google Plus, as well as a few other miscellaneous apps like Calendar and Calculator. Speaking of features, you're pretty much not going to find anything too drastic on this phone. With this new version of Touchwiz, Samsung is really focused on simplifying everything, and that's really the feature you get here. It's stripped away any features that risk slowing the phone down, but thankfully the features that you do get work really well. I take a handful of perfectly perfected features over a ton of half-working features any day. Concerning the Galaxy S6 as a whole, you're getting multitasking, ultra power saving mode, and more, and when it comes to the Edge variant in specific, you get some glorified features that almost any other phone could do, but the one that stood out to me was Night Clock and People Edge. Whenever I wanted to see the time, it took one less step to be able to see the time because it was always on, and People Edge illuminated an edge of the display whenever someone called you, but that's really about it. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so you may find other Edge features useful, but to me, I couldn't justify rubbing the edge of my screen to see the same information I would have gotten by just tapping the home button. And I always wait to talk about cameras at the end of my reviews, and I have to say, this is the best camera on any phone, period. For the longest time, the camera on the iPhone only allowed pretty much anyone to take a beautiful photo by just doing something as simple as hitting the shutter button, and now the Galaxy S6 can do that too. Every photo is just super sharp and full of detail. I'm able to zoom in and get a crisp image out of it. Not to mention that pretty much every photo is just really bright and vibrant. And to sum it up, this is literally the perfect camera. And for the DSLR fiend in you, there's a full manual mode so you can tweak your settings to get that really perfect photo. I just love this phone 100%, and I wish every single Android phone took photos as beautiful as this phone does. But anyways, that's been my 1 month later review on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Honestly, this is a really awesome phone for the average consumer. Not really for me. I, however, will be sticking with my OnePlus One with a video coming up on why I'm actually staying with the OnePlus One anyway. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Jordan in the Know, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.